Hello and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I am PixelPia and this is my Monday night live stream. Tonight we are going to talk about environment and our carbon footprint. And we are going to try something called the carbon footprint calculator. It's an AI tool you can use to estimate your own carbon footprint. And the one I chose, there are many of them out there, is a little bit different. The reason we are trying this tonight is that I have on my Thursday video, I always have a case around AI, a fictional case that we are talking about and talking about pros and cons when it comes to AI. And this week, we are talking about the big energy consumption of big data centers. So, to go hand in hand with that, I thought this would be a good test of can AI help us be more aware of our carbon footprint. So, for this, I have set up three fictional families that we are going to measure. The first one, oops, that's not the first one. This is the third one. Let's go to the first one. It's an urban professional couple with a high carbon footprint. They live in a major city in not in a single family home. I changed that. They live in a condo. They drive a gasoline powered car daily in their commute. They are frequent flyers both for business and leisure. They consume a diet high in meat and processed food. They buy a lot of new electronics and fast fashion items, and they use a lot of heating and cooling in their home. The second family is in the middle, moderate carbon family. They live in a small town in a suburban area. They commute using public transportation or carpooling. They take vacations mostly by train or bus with occasional air travel. They follow a predominantly plant based diet with occasional meat consumption. They prefer buying secondhand goods and sustainable products, and they practice energy saving measures at home. And the third family we are going to take a look at are a rural, self sustained lifestyle with low carbon footprint. They live in a rural area, possibly in an eco friendly house. They use bicycles or electrical vehicles for transportation, minimal reliance on cars. They rarely travel by air and prefer local vacations or staycations. They consume locally sourced foods and possibly grow their own vegetables. They limit their purchases to necessities and are focused on durability and sustainability. They use renewable energy sources and conserves water. So these are our three families we are going to look at. And let's take a look at the our ecological footprint. And here we go. So this is on a website. I have a link down in the descriptions if you are curious and want to test your own. It's called footprintcalculator.org. And let's start by taking a look at our first family. I said that this is a little different than the other calculators I have looked at. It's I think this is a calculator that would be fun to do with kids or younger adults. And the first question is about food. How often do you eat animal based products? Beef, pork, chicken, fish, eggs, and dairy products. And our first family, the couple, eats it very often. And here you see you can add details and then they ask about each product. But I'm just going to put it somewhere here very often. And then we have a little arrow on the right hand side here to go to next question. How much of the food that you eat is unprocessed, unpackaged, or and locally grown? And for this first family is very little. It's not down to none, but maybe let's say 10%, and you can add details if you want. We don't need to do this now. Next question. Which housing type? And this couple lives in a luxury condominium. What material is your house constructed? And this case is steel slash other. How many people live in your household? This is a child-free couple, so it's two. And the size of their home is around 1,200 square feet, or 115 square meters. Oh, I wanted to show you here. As you can see, this little eye is to get some more information. And we ask because we only count your fraction of your household footprint. So if you are doing this for yourself and you are four people, they count a fourth of the answers for you. And what is the size of your home? And here it says larger homes take more energy to heat, cool, and illuminate. However, shared spaces leads to efficiency gains. For example, two people sharing a home would have less than half the ecological footprint of a single person in that space. So for many of these questions, you can get more information. And here we have electricity, and their home is moderately not above average, it's average. So here somewhere. It has modern appliances and climate control. Our next question is what percentage of your home's electricity comes from renewable sources? And for this first family, it's 10 to 20%. And so let's put it on 15. Compared to your neighbors, how much trash do you generate? And this couple is more than their neighbors. So I put it somewhere in the middle there. And then how far do you travel? And they travel around 200 kilometer, 200 miles, or 325 kilometers. And they don't have a motorcycle, just the car. Next is what is the average fuel consumption? And here, if you wonder what I'm looking at, I put this in a AI to get answers. I described the family and put it in AI to get answers for these questions. And their car, 25 miles per gallon, or 9 liters per 100 kilometers. And since they don't have a motorcycle, I put this on efficient or electric because I don't want that to skew my answers. When you travel by car, how often do you carpool? And their answer is rarely. So let's see, never, 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 never. In, let's put it at 21%, infrequently. How far do you travel on public transportation? Not at all. Oh, 10 miles, they answered here. 9 miles. So let's go with that. And how many hours do you fly? And they are frequent flyers, so they fly 50 hours per year. And that is the last question for this family. And then we get the summary result. Your personal Earth overshoot day is February 13th. And what does that mean? If everybody lived like this family, Earth overshoot day would be on this day, February 13th. This means by this date, we would have used as much from nature as Earth can renew in the entire year. So if we say that Earth can renew one bag of energy in a year, we would have consumed that bag on February 13th already, and have the rest of the year we would just consume more than the Earth could give back. And the next point here is everyone lived like you, we would need 8.2 Earths to produce as much as we consume. And then if you hold on the I here, how do you compare average number of Earth? In US, we consume the amount we consume, we would need 5 Earths to produce the amount we consume in a year. Germany 3.2, China 2.1, South Africa 2.0, Brazil 1.8. So all of these countries consume more than the Earth can produce. And then you can see details here about your answers, how much your carbon footprint is, your cropland, how much by land type, how much we consume, and by consumption categories, food. Mobility is the highest one here. That's because of their driving habits and their flying habits. And then we have more information. So let's go back here. 8.2 Earths is what this family would need to produce as much as we consume. Now we're going to take a look at family number 2, that is moderate, leaves a moderate carbon footprint. Occasionally they eat animal products. Unprocessed is about half of their consumption. They live in a duplex. Their home is constructed of brick and concrete. There are 4 people in the home, and the home is around 1,500 square feet. Let me see. There we go. It has electricity and it is quite efficient, so they are above average. Their electricity come from 40% of it come from renewable sources, and they generate less trash than their neighbors. They drive around 100 miles per week, and their car is 30 miles per gallon. And let's do the same there for their motorcycle. They are often carpooling, so we need to pull that up to around there. Often, and around 20 miles per week on public transportation, and their flight hours is around 21 it happened. So let's see. We would have until May 1st to consume what the earth can give us in a year, or we would need 3 Earths to produce as much as we consume in a year, compared to the first family's 8.2 Earths. So We are definitely much better, and they are lower than both US and Germany's average. Now, let's do the last family, the eco friendly family. We start with animal products rarely. So, down there, the closest we could go without saying never. And it's mostly unprocessed. So, let's say 10%. They live in a freestanding house with running water, and their house is built of wood. There are four people in this household as well, and they have around 1,400 square feet. They have electricity, and most of it is efficiency centered design, and they are 90% renewable energy. Compared to the neighbors, they create much less trash, and they drive around 50 miles per week, and their car is around 40 miles per gallon. They carpool a lot. 80% is the highest number for often. So let's stick with that. They actually, let's change that. They actually carpool always, the answer should be. So let's go 90%. They don't use public transportations at all. And they, let's say, 3 hours per year in flight. So now let's take a look. Their resources would last until October 30th, but they still would consume more than the Earth produce in a year, 1.2 Earths. That's less than all the countries in the comparison, but they are still over consuming. So here we have our three different families: 8.2 Earths, 3 Earths, or 1.2 Earths. And we can go in and see details. Food is their biggest splurge. For the why can't we see this? Let's, there it goes. It's mobility, and the same for the eco, the luxury family. So those, delete this from screen and add. So that was the tool I wanted to share with you today. The question is, will a tool like this help us, first of all, to be more aware of our ecological footprint? Is this something that AI can help us with and make us aware and maybe change our habits? But I hope I at least created some curiosity about these questions around AI and environment. Hope to see you in the comments. Until next time, bye.